Ba-da-da-ba-ba. Here we go. Look at there. Look at there, look at there. It's Monday. It's a Monday. It's a reaction Monday. Reacting to the weekend in here in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance. Go! With the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Hometown heroes, in fact. That's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. How y'all are today on this Reaction Monday? Yeah, well, baseball, huh? You got baseball on the brain. We'll talk a little bit about that. RPI updates, who's, what, and where in the SEC. What did State do? I know they had the opportunity to win the series, but I'm telling you, it's mission accomplished. You go pick up one win at a team that, at a place it's a top 5 RPI. I'm not at all dismissing the thought that if you're a player or a coach, you want to win every game you play. There's no such thing as going, it's fine to lose. No, it's not what I'm saying. What I am saying in reality is, though, just like we said on Friday, when you take a team on the road to a top 5 RPI place, if it's a road game and it's regular season college baseball, all you need is one of the 3. You move up in the RPI, you go home, go on about your business. Anything other than that, anything more than that's gravy. That's why, like yesterday, was such a tremendous opportunity to kind of miss out on. We'll get into all of that coming up. You can be a part of the show. You can text, call, or comment if you're on the live stream. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. I'm saying Twitter again. There for a little bit, I said Twitter, formerly Twitter. Then I did away with Twitter. I said X. And then my daughter told me, Daddy, nobody says X. Say Twitter. I'm like, all right, fine. So then I went back to doing X and Twitter, and now I'm just on Twitter because everybody knows what that is. So that's where I am now. But, yeah, if you're on any of those, you can comment. Hey, to you. It's a live show. You see the logos on the screen. Numbers scrolling across the bottom if you want to text or call. Feel free to do that. You can also, as I mentioned, text or call. Text the Country Pleasing text line. The number to text is 885-3776. 601 number, 885-3776. Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. Call me on the Junction phone. That way I get to hear your voice on this Monday. The number to call, 897-1059. That's a 601 number, 897-1059. Junction Delis, fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. So it's like you pull up to the pump, get a little fuel in your tank, go inside, get a little fuel in your belly from the Junction Deli. That's right. Making rhymes over here. But you can be a part of the show. Also, I do feel like I ought to bring this up. Have you seen the video that's circulating around out there? Of the fight that happened amongst the adults at the 14-year-old travel ball tournament this weekend in Starkville. It's like every ball field at every age group now, one of the parents sets up a phone or some kind of camera contraption behind home plate, and it streams so that you can watch it. I guess, grandparents can't get into town. You want to watch some of it, and it records it and all that stuff. That's great. So you have a documentation of how it all went down. And there's a big argument out there on the base pass. It looked like to me that the umpires in that deal were wearing red shirts instead of the traditional dark-colored shirt for umpire. I think they had on red. And they said it was a parent coach. They start swinging at each other, he and the umpire. And then a kid, one of the players jumps in and starts trying to throw, 14-year-old kid, trying to throw punches while they're on the ground. And then the big – so, it's circulating around. thankfully, I don't see any reports of it being the kind of fight where somebody got hurt or injured. And I hope that's the case. So how do you feel about that? Have you seen it? Thoughts on beating up umpires at Little League baseball games, huh? How y'all feel about that? You want to talk about it? Is it uncomfortable? Is it the kind of thing you'd just rather avoid? Not me. I'm happy to talk about it. And I don't know the circumstances. I have no context at all of what led to it, who it is that's involved in it, why, when. I just know it was apparently 14-year-old travel baseball in Starkville this weekend, and it's a big old coach parent throwing punches with a big, okay, and I'll say it because I'm fat too, with a big fat umpire. And look, the umpire was out, like the coach player, or I'm sorry, the coach parent was much bigger. He had a size advantage. And I mean, hey, props. The umpire at one point dipped his shoulder and like bear hugged him, wrapped him up like a form tackle and tackled him to the ground. And then that's when, apparently, from what I could see, it looked like a player who, again, this is supposed to be 14-year-old baseball, dives in and starts throwing these little baby punches. It's kind of cute, actually. It's almost like if a kid was just messing around with his little brother and he had him on the ground, like he was going to pretend like he started doing that. It's like little bitty baby punches. And then I think they pulled him. And so I probably shouldn't laugh, Feel free to chastise me and talk some sense into me if it's not the kind of thing I ought to laugh at. I just, there's some perspective on it for me too, looking at it going, okay, in the long sordid history of Little League baseball, softball, church league softball and stuff, there's always been fights happening. It's an emotional thing. We get out of sorts. We forget that we're not professional athletes, and we don't have, we think it's the most important thing in the world, and just because as humans, that's what we do. We err to err as human. So your perspective gets out of whack and your emotions get up. There's always been fights. And so back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, when you'd have like church league softball fights, and there were some, or other beer league softball fights or Little League baseball fights or whatever, it's not all of it was filmed. Okay, but now everything is filmed, so you see it. So I have that perspective on it in that thankfully nobody, as far as I can tell, was hurt, and fights do happen. Not that you condone it, but fights do happen. But here's the thing, though, that to me I drill it down to is, and I'm saying this from the perspective of someone who has disagreed vehemently at times with the decisions of an umpire or the call of a referee. What I'm saying is, under no circumstance, there is no excuse. You simply, under no circumstance, should anyone at a ball field ever lay a finger on a referee or an umpire. They are protected. They ought to be protected. It ought to be understood. And it's just a line you do not cross. Here's what I'm saying too. Then when it happens, and I don't even know who they were, I don't know the circumstances, I don't know what led to it. What I'm saying is, once it happens where a particular parent and player, or coach and player, physically assault an umpire, from that point on, nobody in the history of the world should ever agree to umpire a game with those individuals in it. No more. The end. I hate to be that way, but whoever the coach or parent was, and whoever the player was that went in on an umpire physically, from now on, anytime those people show up to a ball field, whoever the umpires are, you call the game off. We're not, and you should be able to find no umpire who will call a game they are involved in once you assault an umpire or referee. That should be the rule. That should just be it. Because what I'm saying is the nature of the game. the nature of the game and the structure, it's all ultimately a voluntary thing. I know you say you're getting paid, but what I'm saying is nobody's forcing you to go do it. It's sports. That's a line you don't cross under any circumstance, is throwing down on an umpire or a referee. It's just, no matter what the case, you just don't do it. And if you cross that line, there has to be some pretty serious, long-lasting, far-reaching consequences. It just has to be. That's what I think. Your texts, a bunch of them, coming up next. Just getting started on this Monday. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Oh, try.
Harvey.
Don't worry, he's got a menu full on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at the Zone 105.9.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Your text coming up. We'll talk some state baseball. Nate commented a little bit ago on YouTube, and he's a newlywed, and his wife has fallen in love with state baseball, he says. But you can't watch past the fifth inning because he gets too nervous. Goes out to the fire pit, and he just has to give her updates. Already learning how to be a nervous state fan. So we'll get in on that. We got some texts here. So coming to you, a bunch of them on the Country Pleasing text line. Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves all throughout the Southeast. Clay texted in with a photo of what it looked like at Davis Wade on Saturday night when they had that Zach Bryan concert. That's pretty neat, the way the stage was set up. They have a good crowd, Clay? It looks like they had room for more in there, but all the pictures I saw, like it was a pretty good crowd too. But, yeah, it's neat. Neat. I'll say this, Clay. Like, I don't know a ton about all of the rest of it, but I'm just fascinated when I look and see what these crews do in coming in there and setting up those stages and platforms and, 360 video boards and everything and just all the equipment inside of a arena, pack it all up and go, and the next night they do it all again somewhere else. It fascinates me. I told you we saw the Brandon Lake thing in Tupelo several weeks ago on a Friday night, and man, it was packed to the gills, completely sold out, and it was incredible show. Okay, and I'm looking at all this and this, expanse of just infrastructure that they come in and set up for one show in 24 hours. Again, stage and platform, runway and screens and just air lights and then equipment and speakers, just the whole thing. They packed it all up, and by Saturday night and the very next night, they had it all set up and did the same thing in Pensacola. It's just amazing to me what those crews do. Now, Kenny, don't call me Ken. You said you think it's called Game Changer. Is that the level of baseball or the baseball organization that apparently the fight happened? Somebody texted in on it and said one participant in the fight is supposedly an Oktibbeha County sheriff. Good role models there, huh? Sarcastically. Well, and I don't know who it was, but still. MSU 1980 texts and says, good afternoon, Matt. It says, you mentioned last week you didn't know if anyone did the Pledge of Allegiance anymore. I went to 2 functions last week where we did the Pledge of Allegiance. It was good to see that it's still being done. Yeah, well, thanks for that. And yesterday we had somehow it came up in Sunday school. We were talking, and we got several school teachers in there and some that have been, and they all were talking about how at the different schools it can be a little different. But for the most part, most schools apparently they still do the Pledge of Allegiance in the room with the class or just over the intercom with the whole school in the morning. John in Rolling Fork says, you say, as hard as these pitchers are throwing these days, you better have some natural padding on if you're an umpire. Hey, John, did you see some of the videos that popped up over the last couple of days, these different umpires in like SEC baseball games they took a foul ball and would knock them out? I think it was an Alabama and Vanderbilt game. One of them, the umpire took a hot foul tip right off the middle of the face mask, and he kind of rocked back and forth for a minute, and then boom, just fell out. I think he's okay because I haven't heard anything, but it's scary looking. I mean, it get right in the nose. Possum Neck Joe, you said it's simple, Matt. The whole problem starts with the first 2 words, quote, travel ball. Well, and see, here's the thing. And Joe, I don't have a son, so I don't have one. I'm taking the travel ball stuff. And to me, I would think that is sort of a big umbrella term for the whole industry, right? The whole travel ball industry. And again, 1 or 2 things maybe shouldn't give the rest of it a bad rap. But this deal, it just, to me, when it comes to punches, we're talking 14-year-old deal, and it comes to punches being thrown with an umpire and a player jumps in on that, I mean, come on. I mean, really, come on. You can't touch an umpire or a referee, period, the end. And the point that I was making before the break is fights have always happened, you know, you go way on back. I mean, every now and then you get a fight. It could be players. It could be coach. You hate it. None of it's being condoned. Nobody thinks it should happen. It's just we understand. We lose our way. We get hot-headed. We get angry. We get emotional. We start flying off and pushing, shoving. Next thing you know, somebody throw. But this kind, in any sport, when it's going after an official, that's the kind of thing that, to protect everybody going forward and to set sort of a precedent, it has to be a long, tough, drawn out, mitigating punishment handed down to any individuals involved in going after any official. Who cares if they made the wrong call? That's not the point. And so my thing is, I hate it, but if you're doing what you're supposed to do as any organization, and you have a coach / parent and a player physically go after and fight an umpire, it doesn't matter what it's over and doesn't matter what the call was. Once that happens, anytime those individuals show up to a ball field, the umpires leave. They are not allowed to be involved in it with umpires, period. Not in any organization. I hate this. That's tough, isn't it? Just the way it is. You got to find something else to do. Phantom of the Popra text the show. You say you read that it was the coach and the coach's son who got the licks in on the ump. Tell you what, the ump did a pretty good job, didn't he? He was at a big size disadvantage. Never got knocked down. Form tackled the guy. Let's wrestle around. That keeps you. I mean, you know, there's some big, strong 14-year-olds out there. I'm not tying up with them, but that poor kid, it's like little baby punches. Yo, come on now. Of course, you know, I probably need to zip it. If it's, who knows how you'd react if it's your own family in there. Louvier, you texted and said that you've been a coach, an umpire, and a football official. Louvier, you say, I cannot imagine any mindset that would make me want to fight about it. He said, and I agree with you 1,000,000%. Assault the official as a parent or coach, and you're banned forever. If you show up anyway, then your team just forfeited. No other discussion. See, and it's not, Louvier, I think you and I saying that is strictly from an administrative viewpoint, looking overall at the whole umbrella, right? Of any sports organization. You're simply setting a precedent going, this is a line that we're not going to cross. And unfortunately, you may have just had a bad day. But if you do cross that line, it carries with it an unbelievable penalty. An unbelievable one. To the point that we're going to make sure that anybody that is sort of in their right mind better think long and hard about throwing a punch at an official or an umpire at the sporting event, because if you do, guess what? You just ended it. You might as well take up fishing on the weekends, because there ain't going to be no more baseball. You see what I mean? If you're an umpire and as a group and in your organization, like you say, if they show up, hey, we'll see you later. Ball game's over. I mean, it's what you got to do. It's like anything else, Louvier, and you've been here long enough. Remember when we were having the discussion about what are you going to do about targeting? Okay, prove to me that you really want to do something about it. Don't just say you do. Prove it. The way that you hand down penalties or punishment for something will prove to me how much you really do or don't care, how much you really are trying to stop something. That's what'll prove it. All right, and Beer Slayer, you sent me a staff about it, and I'm gonna take a look at it when we come back in a minute. From Grand Slam Sports Tournaments, which is apparently the overarching organization that was over that tournament where this happened. And apparently they've put out a statement. Beer Slayer, I didn't see it. Thank you for sending it. I'll read it when we come back. Still just getting started with you on a Monday in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Deli's, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960s, pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country-pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire. Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do, at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You
You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all.
9.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. If you swing on the umpire, JS290 said it's like being banned from the casino for counting cards. We hate it. You made a bad decision, and we don't hate you. We got a way of doing things, and if you do that, that's it. The end. We're trying to keep people from doing it, and that's just the decision that we've made. JS290 went on to say travel balls akin to AAU basketball. Shady, I saw where. See, Robbie, if y'all want to see the video, Robbie Falk, that is, and I think he's now got 1878 in his handle on Twitter after he's moved over and now working for State 1878, the new thing from Mississippi State. He put the video out there, and Philip Prince retweeted it and said, I guess y'all have never been to an AAU. He said he came home from one of Miriam's AAU events, and he went and started taking karate lessons. And so, yeah, maybe it's bad there too. Okay, but on that note, so Beer Slayer, you sent me this. I appreciate you sending it. I didn't know this was out there. It's what looks like a statement from the organization Grand Slam Sports Tournaments. You want to look up and verify it, you can. It's on this thing that Beer Slayer sent, grandslamtournaments.com. Here is their statement. Grand Slam Mississippi unequivocally condemns the event that occurred yesterday at the Starkville, Mississippi tournament. Youth sports are meant to foster respect, sportsmanship, and provide a safe environment for all participants. There is absolutely no place for this type of behavior, whether it's a coach, umpire, player, or spectator. Violence in any form is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. My staff and I will be discussing some new measures that will be put in place, and then we'll be harsh going forward, and I'm sure several will not like it, but we cannot have these type of things happening at a youth sporting event. I have a heavy heart this morning. I'm struggling to wrap my brain around such senseless violence at a youth sporting event. Sadly, we live in a different world from which I grew up in. Thank you, and God bless. Now, I don't see a name on it, but that looks like maybe somebody who, runs those things overall. I don't know who that would be, but I appreciate you sending that. Wes, you texted and said, I umpire travel ball every weekend. It's not the coaches, it's the parents. I got hit by a baseball bat that a 13-year-old swing and miss a ball, but I got hit in the head. I was woozing for an inning. Moose Dog texted in, you said travel ball's big industry now. Nobody needs to play ball that much unless they're a professional. Yeah. It's out of hand. It really is. I was talking with somebody at church, my buddy Russ, that's in my Sunday school class yesterday. They're doing some traveling. He's got a young son who's a good ball player, and they've had to go to different. Recently, they've been to Arkansas and some other places. And I said, man, I'm not saying overall my parents had it easy, but in regards to baseball, they kind of had it easy. I mean, because over the years, growing up as a kid playing baseball, we played in the town that I lived in every game until the end. The organization that we played in as kids growing up, at the end of the year, they would pick all-star players off each team or whatever, and then put you together an all-star team. And you might go play a couple different tournaments on the road, but it'd be somewhere, 30 miles from there. And then somewhere, maybe 100 miles from there. And that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's if you won. But, man, every time we had a ball game, we drove down to the same place. In Russellville, Alabama, growing up, it was a couple little fields down there called 𝐊𝐚𝐫𝐦 Park. And it's still there. It's been improved and more modern, and they switched the layout of the fields. They used to face what would be, south. Now, now they're facing north, a different direction. But you know what I remember about the 𝐊𝐚𝐫𝐦 fields? There were two of them. Okay, and every game was played there alternatingly on two different fields. You'd all go to the same place. Everybody's buying the same hamburgers from the same concession stand. Man, it was great. You know, you'd have a day where you're going to play 2 games, and your mom and dad would just drop you off. They had stuff to do. They'd come back, watch you play. Game's over. They're like, all right, I'll be back. What time's the next game? 6? All right, we'll see you then. You just hang out. It's kids. And just kids. And between the games, you'd have the inevitable kids who weren't playing, you know, the inevitable game of cup ball. You remember that? Cup ball? You take those wax Coca-Cola cups from the concession stand and wad one up into the form of a round ball. You play your own pickup game out in the gravel or something. You know, you pitch it and you hit it with your hand. And then some of us, too, they had a creek that ran out behind what used to, again, be the outfield. Now it would be behind home play. There's a creek that runs right by those ball fields there in Russellville. And you go down those creeks, and the first time that I ever came really close, nose to nose, being surprised by a snake was catching what we called, you know, crawdads, little crawfish down in there. You'd find them and scoop them up with your hand, you know, splashing around in the creek. And I picked up a rock that's just in the edge of the water, pretty good sized rock, and I lifted it up because I was thinking there's going to be one under there. When I did, a snake swam off. I mean, I guess it was I don't remember. I guess it was probably a water snake. That was all at the ball field. Sure was. I mean, no joke. It was, you know, what, late 80s? Mid to late 80s when this is going on? Yeah, half your team would show up on their bicycle. That's a true story. That's a true story. Saw it with my own eyes. I say half, but a good number of each team, kids they had their own transportation. They took themselves there. And mom and dad probably still at work. And so, look, I'm not saying that it made great ball players out of us. It didn't. It didn't, okay? Maybe travel ball and lessons would have made great ball players out of us. I promise you, with everything that's in me, there aren't any kids having more fun than we did at Hal Kirby Park playing cup ball 2-3 games a day and catching snakes and crawdads in the creek out behind the field. It's a true story. I'll take you there right now. I bet we can find a snake in that creek right this minute. I missed it. Jason, you texted in from Flagstaff. You didn't miss much. We just were talking about that video of the parents fighting the umpire in Starkville this weekend for youth baseball. We haven't even touched on Mississippi State and Texas yet. I don't know that I want to, because I watched in Game 1 and Game 3 combined. Now, State won Game 2, mission accomplished, move up in the RPI, so what? Come beat Auburn. Figure out a way to beat Auburn. But my thing is, in Game 1 and Game 3 combined, 30 strikeouts. Game 1 and Game 3, tried to watch them. Both of them muted it, sync it up with Jay and Neil. In those 2 games combined, State hitters struck out 30 times. Make me sick. Kenny Don't Call Me Ken texted in. He said, it's simply this. These are people who shouldn't be coaching and people who shouldn't be umpiring or refereeing. He says, when those 2 kinds of folks meet up, look out. He probably got a good point there. Grumpy says, okay, sir, Grumpy, you texted. You said Grumpy was at Flowood Liberty Park all weekend. Grumpy always talks to the umpires, let them know how much they are appreciated, but is watching. Hey, I appreciate you, but I just want you to know I'm paying attention now. I'm keeping notes. You better call them right. Grumpy hates that he missed Bryce Chance's monster home run yesterday, and he says, oh, yeah, he had a foot-long corn dog at the ball field. Yeah, Bryce, full count, fastball, low and inside. It was a strike, turns on it, and when he dropped the barrel on it, it's like, here it goes, no doubter. Wes texted in. Wes, you said amen to that. My parents traveled about 30 minutes. This past weekend, I had teams from Hattiesburg, Vicksburg, Louisiana. I was like, wow. And a game from 3 hours away. Man, I'm telling you, City League. I guess they called it Dixie Youth, but you'd have some towns had, Babe Ruth League and Cal Ripken League and different things. Little League. Just all go to the same place every week. There was no such thing as away games. An away game, you just got in the other dugout. That's it. I'm just telling you, no. There weren't a lot of us growing up playing at Hal Kirby Park in Russellville that went on to play in the major leagues, okay? But we had a great time. We all sure do think of it fondly to this day. And it sure was a heck of a lot easier on the parents. In fact, if you'd told Joe and Susan Wyatt back in the mid to late 80s, hey.
Jake Mangum here. When I'm at the plate, I'm always looking for an edge. So when I'm shopping for auto insurance...
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states.
Or even losing the game. You're going to hear about them all and get to talk about it with Matt Wyatt right here, right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at the Zone1059.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. I was going to say a minute ago, if I get my time machine, go back to about, 86, 87, 88, when little Matt was playing baseball at 𝐌𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐬𝐢 Park. We had 2 fields in Russellville, Alabama. Played all our games there till the All-Stars, and then we might go to Moulton. It's like a 30-minute drive. That's it. And you usually see better ball players there too. But if we get in a time machine and go back then, I'm going to tell you how my mom and dad would have reacted if you told Joe and Susan Wyatt back then, hey, Matt needs to be in Little Rock this weekend for the Little Rock World Series. And then next weekend, y'all got to be in Biloxi for the Biloxi World Series. Pan to my mom and dad. I'm talking about they would have gotten a big kick out of the idea. The what? I'm just saying, times are different. I'm not saying it was better. I'm saying, the laughter. I would have gotten a big kick of watching them look at each other and laugh. No, sir. No, we're not doing that. J-Rock, you texted and said back in the day, Matt, if you ran down a foul ball and brought it to the press box, free snow cone. Man, the good old days. I remember that. They'd get, J-Rock, they would get short on baseballs, and they started handing out prizes. Like, we're short on baseballs, okay, but we've got plenty of free Cokes to give out, M&M's, snow cones. So, yeah, you bring the ball back, we'll give you a snow cone. That's what I'm talking about. Straight up Sandlot kind of stuff, J-Rock. You can't convince me it wasn't overall more healthy back then. Dog Tired, you texted and said, so Starkville was where the Texas umpires were supposed to be. Rec ball fields, return a foul ball, we get you a free Coke. That's what that was. Yeah, bring foul ball back. No, but Dog Tired again, I want to say this. Now, I like what somebody brought up. It said that the last time that Brian O'Connor got ejected from a game was 11 years ago, and it happened to be the same year that his team went on and won the College World Series. Maybe that'll hold true, right? And the pitch to Reese was a ball. Guy missed the call. You don't have ABS in college. You missed a call. Okay, whatever. I still think that conferences like the SEC should experiment with ABS at the conference tournament only, because it doesn't really matter that much. But at the conference tournament, one location, you can have it all in one spot, conference tournament, they should experiment with ABS at the SEC baseball tournament in Hoover. They should. But anyway, you don't have it. That was a ball. The umpire was wrong. And I get what you're doing as a coach. I'm just saying as a fan overall, I'm back up and go, look, the reason State lost the series is not because of the umpires. It's just not. There it is. The reason you lost the series is because, let me give you some examples. Because yesterday you had 4 hits. 4. Well, balls and strikes has a little bit to do with it. Yeah, it does. Not that much. You had 4 hits. One of them was a grand slam. That's why you lost. That way it won't. Who are you going to beat with 4 hits? Even though one of them is a big swing. Also, yesterday, State's pitching staff walked 9 batters and hit 1 more. Who are you going to do that? Who are you going to beat with a upside down strike to walkout ratio? Walk to strikeout ratio. Y'all, I hit my head this morning. Okay, so give me a little grace here, all right? I really did, y'all. I got the biggest gash and scar-looking thing on top of my bald head because I was running through a doorway and I had to jump over something on the floor. And bam, I had a hat on. I hit my head on top of the door frame. And, man, if I didn't have a hat on, I'm telling you, I'd have stitches in my head right now. And it was a heck of a lick. Didn't knock me down, though. I'm proud of that. Walk to strikeout ratio upside down. Who are you going to beat? There's reason number 2. You walked 9 guys yesterday, hit another one. 4 hits in a game. That's why you didn't win the series. But the biggest number is this. When you combine games 1 and game 3, state hitters struck out 30 times. 30! I mean, it's in Texas. It's in Austin. Who are you playing against? Roger Clemens? Put the ball in play. Easy. It's easy for me to say. It's really easy for me to say. So they just got out-competed, particularly by a couple of pitchers. I mean, look, say what you want, but that kid for Texas yesterday, he walked all those guys, walked the bases full, gives up a grand slam on a full count to Bryce Chance. They stay with him. He finishes. He goes 5 innings, struck out 9 and walked 3. The 5 runs were on 3 hits. Truth about it is he was really good outside of a couple of walks and that 1 swing by Bryce Chance. Give up 3 hits total, and the grand slam's one of them. Strike out 9 guys, get the win in 5 complete innings. Say what you want, but he just outcompeted the Bulldogs. Nick, you texted and said, back in the 90s, I played fall ball on a field over by the reservoir that had emus caged up in right field. Nick, I've heard about that from other people. That made a big impression on a lot of people. White Denzel says, Matt, not only did half my Little League team show up on bicycles for games and practice, we had 2 kids show up on horses. He says, now they didn't live far, so they had someone come get the horses, but still, they came to practice on horses. That's what I'm talking about. Tell me it wasn't better. Convince me it wasn't better. Hey, White Denzel, did you have a quote-unquote bat bag that you wore to school, like a backpack with your name on it? And bat sticking out of it that Mama paid $400 for? Jake from Yazoo says, we may have won on the diamond, but the real game was won in that crawfish hole. I mean, it kind of was. Right? Because you learn that, yeah, sure, you can take your shoes off and go splashing around in a creek with snakes. You'll live. Whatever. It's fine. You'll be all right. Possum Neck Joe, you texted and said, that's what I'm talking about, Matt. The only traveling I did for baseball was on my bike to the local ball fields or an open field at a local school. It was just so different. And I mean, look, maybe there were some kids in our isolated area of Northwest Alabama where I grew up as a kid before we moved to Prattville. Maybe there were some kids up there getting like private lessons or whatever. But there weren't any that I knew of. Jason in Flagstaff, Texas show. You say, last snake I killed was a cottonmouth that had wandered up a creek and into the middle of the kids' fields at Belmont. Say they left the carcass on the doorstep of the Parks Department there with a note tacked to the door. Like, what did the note say? Jason, what do you want them to do with it? The dead snake put it at the door of the Parks Department. Hey, just wanted y'all to know I killed this thing. Y'all can thank me later. I mean, what do you want them to do with it? It's funny. That's funny. All right, rolling along with you here on this Monday. We got headlines coming out. Talk some college baseball. Anything you want to get into is cool with me. Shoot me a text, give me a call, comment on the live stream. It's all wide open. Stick around. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links, bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the
WRKS Dennis Pickens Jackson, where it's time for the guy who always gets you to the ball game on time. And here's the pitch. It's Matt Wyatt with all the good stuff you need to know right here on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. Man, it's hour number 2. I thought we were still finishing up hour 1. I guess I was enjoying things. Hour 2 has begun. Time flying by here today on this Monday, this Reaction Monday. Still got a lot to get into. Headlines coming up. Reaction of the weekend in college baseball. I will tell you, if you're just tuning in, what you have tuned into. There was this story popped up yesterday of, and I can tell you, the name of the organization, youth baseball, kind of tournament, weekend tournament, travel, something, another thing. Who was it that sent me the deal? Beer Slayer, where is it? Grand Slam Sports Tournaments is the name of it. And there was a fight, and it was a parent / coach or something. I think it was a parent out there fighting an umpire. They're being pulled off, and then the player in uniform, who I guess that was his parent, and there jumped in and started trying to throw punches, and it's just a big mess. Silly mess. Thankfully, no, I don't think anybody was really hurt, but they put out a statement. So we got talking about that, and that merged over into the conversation about the travel ball culture and all those things, and then that then went over into me, old guy me, reminiscing about how different it was when I was a kid growing up. We pretty much played all our games in one place. And so lots of folks listening had the same types of memories. Old School Ed texted in and said Hattiesburg had a big history with Dixie Youth Baseball. Won 13 World Series, hosted lots of World Series. Last time was 2023. The field's on Hardy Street, just east of 49. So, Ed, are you saying that longtime Dixie Youth Baseball organization in Hattiesburg, that it was kind of like a citywide league that branched out from there? It wasn't the travel ball thing. It was sort of your local, the baseball league in Hattiesburg. I've wondered about, I haven't really followed it, to see, but I've wondered those municipal type parks and rec fields and parks, how does that all work now? In terms of who plays there and how often? Is it travel teams only? Do you have a local league? I'd be curious to know what all that is. You don't have to answer all that, but I am interested to learn it. White Denzel says, I did not have a brand new bat bag. I got my brother's once he outgrew his. It's a true story. Like, the first bat bag I had that was mine was my senior year of high school. Okay, so I was way behind on that. And it was I was at Prattville, Alabama then. So the spring of my senior year would have been spring of 95. And what it was is one of the older guys had left it in the locker room who had graduated the year before and just left it in there. And so I got it. I asked Coach, hey, can I have that? He's like, yeah, have it. Use it. So that was mine. Delta Tide fan texted in and said, maybe the guy who left the dead snake at the park's door was doing it in retaliation for his dad getting a faulty part for his car. Okay, what's that all about? Well, he did respond. Jason did respond and said he put the note that he put on the door at the Parks Department with the dead snake that he had killed under it, just simply said in all caps, Cottonmouth killed on T-ball field. And then he said he followed it up on the note, might fix that swamp area over there. Oh, I see. So the reason to leave it was to make sure they knew there were cottonmouth poisonous snakes around the T-ball field. And here's the proof. Now I'm putting it all together, Jason. Now I'm putting it all together. All right. Look at here. Look at here. Look at here. Again, I'll tell you, if you haven't seen the video, the one place I know where I saw it, Robbie Falk, who is now with State 1878, he posted the video of the altercation from the Starkville baseball fields on Twitter yesterday. Beer Slayer sent me now a link here to the Starkville Police Department and a post on Facebook. Starkville Police Department. 52 minutes ago. So since we started this show, and it says, yesterday, officers responded to reports of a fight in progress at Cornerstone Park involving an umpire and a coach. Both individuals were charged with fighting. That's Ordinance 12.3.05, and the incident remains under investigation. Thank you to the community members who reported the incident and shared information with officers. The police department says our recreational facilities exist to bring the community together, to share positive experiences in a safe environment. This behavior falls well short of that standard and has no place in our parks. We will continue to hold people accountable and do our part to keep community spaces safe for everyone who uses them. And that's a post an hour ago from the Starkville Police Department. And Beer Slayer, thank you for sending me that. Tony, you texted in and you said, you guard the plate with 2 strikes. It's ingrained in us by Little League. It says Brian O'Connor needs to show film on what Mangum used to do, putting the bat on the ball with 2 strikes. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. There was a bunch of that, wasn't it, Tony? There was a bunch of Texas pitchers, especially game 1, game 3. There were a bunch of Texas pitchers really, really finely locating the ball and staying out of the middle of the strike zone, and therefore getting calls. And I know we dispute some of those calls, but to your point, Tony, yeah, there was a whole lot of State hitters that, frankly, if you get 2 strikes on you, just being a little bit too choosy. Like, you got to swing the bat and protect the plate, and you may have to go. To me, like, Fry is one who he does a good job of. He'll chase all kinds of stuff with 2 strikes, just trying to keep from watching strike 3, you know. But, look, Texas really pitched it well. They're a great team. And like I said, games 1 and game 3 combined, 30 strikeouts against State hitters. Yesterday, State had 4 hits. You're like, you got a 5-zip lead. Okay, but the fact that after that grand slam, you got 3 more hits the whole ball game, I mean, that's why they come back and beat you. Real C texted in. You said, when I played Little League ball, we had to pick up bottle caps on the field before the games. Who's putting bottle caps on the field, Real C? You said outfield fences covered in kudzu. If you got a home run or foul ball from that kudzu, they'd give you a Coke at the concession stand. Later in life, played at a park where they had a salvage yard beyond left field, and if you hit a car out there, they'd give it to you. The whole car. Man, I'd be swinging for the fences. Today's kids and parents don't get it, you say. Real C, you say, I coached for roughly 18 years, and 2 types would get you. Super hype dad living vicariously through the kid, or totally clueless parent that had 0 concept of team sports. Interestingly enough, he says, former athlete parent was the easiest to deal with. Isn't that interesting? Former athlete parent. Yeah. Old school Ed. Country pleasing text line. Okay, so regional thing in Hattiesburg. Thanks for sending that. All right. Dog Tired in Florence. You said the $400 bat was non-existent. You batted with the bat. Coach brought in an Army duffel bag. It's so true. Obviously, it was not the original grip. It was athletic tape. Pineapple wrap pattern. Yeah, they put some tape around the handle. He says, Matt, you also mentioned Roger Clemens. He said, my co-op boss at Entergy was Robin Jeter, pitched in Omaha opposite of Roger Clemens. Needless to say, he took the L. How about that? Yeah, that's true. Dogtire, I can remember up there in Russellville growing up, there'd be times when there was one time specifically where the other coach came to our dugout and said, "Hey, can we borrow a bat? The one we've got over here it got dented." Like it finally gave in. It got dented. And our coach was like, "Yeah, sure. Yeah, here, use this. We'd be swapping the bat back and forth depending on who's hitting that game." All right. Hour 2, rolling along. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links, bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Ogeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roast it right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Oh,
And worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you, JS290. You said on YouTube here, Little League in Mississippi is so political. Every parent thinks little Johnny is the next Connor Griffin, or Coach Polk's going to offer him a full scholarship to play at Duty Noble. Every parent, yeah, I'm sure. Hey, speaking of Connor Griffin, all right, hang on now. Don't roll your eyes if you're out there like, here Matt goes. Here he goes. Now here goes Matt, the super Pirates fan, all because Jake Mangum and Connor Griffin play for him. And just hang on. I'm just going to tell you something. Since Connor Griffin's 20th birthday, on Friday, April 24th, so just a little over a week ago, since Connor's 20th birthday, he has hit 2 home runs, has hit safely in every game that he's played except 2, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. He's hit safely in 8 of his last 10 games since turning 20. He's hit his first 2 big league home runs. He has a triple, 2 doubles, and has scored 5 runs and driven in 4. All since he's turned 20 on April 26th, just a little bit ago. So, yeah, again, if I'm looking at this right, no, not 26th, 24th. Friday, April 24th was his 20th birthday. And on that day, he went 3 for 4, home run, drove in 3. The next day, he went 2 for 4, drove 1 in. Now, he had, then right after that, last game against Milwaukee and the first one against the Cardinals, both losses, he went 0 for. Since then, starting on last Tuesday, he's on a 6-game hitting streak, 2 for 4 with a home run, and scored the run and a ribby. 1 for 3, scored a run. 1 for 4. Then in the Cincinnati series, 1 for 4, drove 1 in, was on base again with another walk, scored a run. 4 for 5 in that 17-run game against Cincinnati. He goes 4 for 5, hits another, has a triple, a double, scores a run, drove in 2. And then yesterday it was 1 for 3 with a double, scored a run in a game that he was the only run of the ball game for Pittsburgh, and they won it, swept the series, won it 1-0. He has absolutely torn Major League pitching apart since he turned 20 years old. Really, really cool to see for the kid. You know, and I go back to what Kevin Griffin, his dad, said in an interview. He was off, about him, 19, and when he came up, kind of a slow start. And, somebody asked him in an interview, Kevin, that is the dad, what did you do over the years if you ever hit a little, things got a little stagnant, hit a wall? And Kevin said, just leave him alone because he'll figure it out. He always has. He always will. He will figure it out. It's just a matter of time. That rascal is figuring it out. More bully has arrived on the country pleasing text line. More bully, you said, my dad was the commissioner, PA announcer, and concession stand manager for my Little League part. Oh, and he said he also was a part-time coach. Commissioner, PA announcer, ran the concession stand all at once. Moose, I'm sorry, more bully. Are you saying that he would do PA announcing and sell things in a concession stand at the same time? That would really be great. More bully, a question for you. Did you get all dressed up for the Kentucky Derby this weekend? dressed up, looking all fancy, like Little Lord Fauntleroy, as they say. You wear a big hat, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles away from Louisville, Kentucky. Moose Dog texts the show. Moose Dog, you say you play softball with the Dudley T4000. It shoots off the bat like a bullet. Would like to have seen some of those exit speeds on those. It was banned shortly after you started using it. And said too many people getting hurt and hit it too hard. MSU 1980 on the text line, the country pleasing text line. You say, Matt, I was amazed at the number of empty seats at all three games at Texas, especially since they have traditionally been a baseball powerhouse. It makes you really appreciate what we have at State, especially with much lower numbers of students and alum. Yeah, it's true. Say it like it's like this. You know, if you're comparing Texas's stadium and their attendance and their atmosphere to State, well, it doesn't compare. Truthfully, though, if you compare it to lots and lots and lots of other colleges and their stadiums and their attendance and their atmosphere, then it's fine or good compared to others. So it's kind of what you're comparing it to. You would think, they're a baseball program with multiple national championships. Over the years, lots of great players. They're a top 5 team this year. And, some of it for me, 1980, when they would do a wide shot or whatever, I'd think, they have a lot of people in the seats. Like yesterday, up the baselines, it's just behind home plate, they'd have a lot of empty seats for whatever reason that was. And the stadium would even look nicer. I didn't see it when we went out there for football 2 years ago. I just missed it somehow. But when you see a wide shot of it, it looked a lot nicer to me than maybe some of the angles they give you. Plus, it's all turf, which kind of is odd looking. Especially if you think a place like Texas, I don't know how much rain they get. Maybe they just don't want to spend the money on having real grass. It doesn't look that great. Moose Dog, you pointed that out. It's not a real baseball field, it's fake grass. Yeah. I tell you, I tip my cap to their team, and I know sometimes we have teams that show a lot of emotion or they seem to have a really good time. They have a few characters that make them easy to hate. And I know they had the one kid in the bullpen out in right field in that first game that said a few choice words to Jacob Parker out there just for running down and catching a fly ball. That was kind of classless. But at the same time, I watched him over the weekend. I think Schlossnagle, he has a very talented, very good team. They're really good. And they seem to have a lot of fun. They play loose and aggressive, man. And, they pitch that way. They play that way. They swing the bat that way. And in those, State just got dealt with by that starting pitcher on Friday night. Grand total of 19 strikeouts. He was forever on, and he just outcompeted them. Well, then they come back and win game 2. Had to hold on late, but you built a really nice big lead, and State outcompeted them in that second game. Did a really nice thing, and that's when I saw that thinking, look, you're playing a rubber match, but you're playing with house money. Okay, you've already accomplished what you want to. I don't care what anybody says. College baseball is not about winning the regular season conference championship. If you do, great. Hey, if Georgia wins it, great. Attaboy, put it on the wall. Coach, put it on your resume. Fine, but it doesn't matter. Because the way it's built, it's all about the postseason tournament and getting hot and playing your best then. And if you're State, hosting may help you. Certainly with that venue, you want to host. That's what it's all about. So go on the road to a top 5 RPI, pick up one win, and come home. Michigan, you see what happened. State is a spot higher in the RPI rankings now than they were going into the weekend. I think there were 10 going in. Now they're at 9. The same thing will happen in 2 weekends when they go to Texas A&M. And that is wherever State is, If State goes to A&M and just picks up one win, they'll move up. And I think that's why this weekend, and well, this whole week, with Nichols in the midweek and then Auburn on the weekend, which I think is a Thursday through Saturday, this week at home is really, really important for State. I think in terms of its hosting chances and national seed opportunities and all that kind of stuff. All right. Still got a little ways to go here, an hour or two, and plenty of time to do it. Staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Deli's, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton. We say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire. Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash, and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away.
you've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other.
And what you think right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau. Gene, you're saying that all 3 games for state this weekend against Auburn are televised? And I mean, I know they all are technically with SEC plus games that, originate and you stream them like the ones that Bart and Charlie do. I mean, that's like a TV broadcast, same cameras, all kinds of same things. But in terms of TV, I'm going to look it up here and just see what the schedule is showing and confirm. Not that I don't believe you. I do believe you. That's why I'm looking it up. I want to see who and where. All right, it says, okay, so the Thursday night game in start was on ESPNU. And then the Friday and Saturday games are both SEC network games. And so I guess you get, those type of productions. And I also just saw a note that the final game of the year, which is the 3rd game at Texas A&M, Saturday, May 16th, they moved it up to an 11 a.m. start time. I'm not real sure what that is or why, but did see that note, so make a note of that too. They moved it up for whatever reason. Kenny, thanks for your text. Kenny, don't call me Ken. Text the show. You say in the early 70s in San Jose, California, we rode bikes or walked to baseball tryouts, practices, and games. Parents were rarely present. I know. Took gloves and a bat. Wooden one if you had one. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like straight up Bad News Bears stuff, right? Hey, help me out, because the original Bad News Bears movie, it was set in California, wasn't it? Because one of the gags on the show was the little girl, she quit the baseball team. She was out there selling maps to the stars, homes or something like that. So I think it was set in California. Yeah, ride your bike, take a bat. Every now and then the parents would show up if they got off work in time. This is a whole different world, wasn't it? We look at it now, Kenny, and it's one, the whole sort of just atmosphere and environment socially allowed you to just be on your own a whole bunch when you were a kid. I don't know that you necessarily trust society that way anymore. I mean, I don't think you can. I wouldn't trust it that way anymore, just being honest. And then, also back then too, so it was probably a good thing that parents weren't at, every scrimmage and every game. Jason, you said, I think it was actually Saturday. Neil said the attendance was less than 8,000. It surprised me. I don't know what that field seats also, but they put for official attendance for yesterday's game 7,481. I don't know about game 2, the one that State won, but game 1. Okay, so going by what you said, you're talking about Saturday. So game 1, they announced 6,747. This is Friday night out in Austin, Texas. Please don't ask me to repeat the name of that field. I would never be able to remember it. Not even sure how to pronounce it. 8,000 plus on Saturday, and then 7,400 yesterday. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, compared to most college baseball venues and attendances, it's really good. Compared to State, Ole Miss, LSU, Arkansas, it doesn't really compare. I mean, Southern Miss, who's playing in the Sun Belt, is putting up those kinds of numbers every home weekend. 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 people. So Texas, and somebody, I even forget who it is now. What was it, a month ago? They were talking about attendance, and somebody made the comment that they tried to rationalize somehow Texas, because it is in a large metro type of area with more people. Therefore, it's harder for them to draw people to their baseball game than it is Mississippi State and Starkville. And I'm like, huh? Holiday Hoobie Wuddy? As Pete would say, and repeat after me.
That don't make no sense.
It made none to begin with. I mean, tell me you're trying your best to, make excuses for Texas without actually telling me that's what you're doing. Moose Dog, I think you have a good point. You say you shouldn't play a midweek game when the series is going to start on a Thursday. It's tough, isn't it? You got Nichols coming in there tomorrow night. So this 4-game stretch here with where you are. So going into this week, State is 9th in the RPI. You can win this game tomorrow night versus Nichols by 30 runs, and you still are going to drop in RPI. Nichols is 24-12 overall, and they're 14-12 in the Southland. And I don't know what their RPI is, but it's way on down there. But what have they done? They were Nichols. They started the season 0-6. They were swept by Tennessee, lost against South Alabama, lost to LSU, lost a game at UT Martin, but then they beat them in 3. McNeese beat them 2 out of 3. Southern Miss beat them 3-2. That was that competitive game down in Biloxi. They took 2 from A&M Corpus Christi, had 1 game canceled, beat Jackson State in the midweek. They were swept by UT Rio Grande Valley, who's a pretty good baseball team. Did I say they lost to Southern Miss? They beat them the first time they played them. Sorry. When they went to Southern Miss in Hattiesburg, that was right after, right when Southern Miss was beating these SEC teams. They went in there and beat them 3-2. The rematch, when they played Southern Miss in Biloxi, is when Southern Miss beat them 4-0. Was on the rematch of that. 2 out of 3 from Incarnate Word. Lost 2 out of 3 to Northwestern State. Midweek lost to Tulane. Took 2 out of 3 from Houston Christian. 2 out of 3 from Lamar. Another loss to South Alabama. South Alabama's a pretty good team. Swept Stephen F. Austin in their weekend. And then last week in the midweek, they lost 7-1 to ULL in the Sun Belt, Louisiana. Went there to Lafayette. And last weekend hosted New Orleans and lost 2 out of 3. So that's what they've done. State has, am I right? State has not lost a midweek game all year. I believe that's right. Beat Troy and Alcorn. Well, no, that's wrong because they lost to Southern Miss. That would be it, wouldn't it? The 7-6 loss in Hattiesburg back on March the 3rd is State's only midweek loss of the year. So come resume time, you'd love for it to stay that way. Yeah, you'd love for it to stay that way. But, it will not be easy. It's going to be a sure enough ball game. And, as a fan, just go ahead and prepare yourself. If State wins the game, it doesn't matter what they win it by. If they're still going to go down, they'll drop in RPI. That's the way that works. If they lose it tomorrow, it's going to be a precipitous drop in the RPI. But either way, again, the good news is your home games this weekend are against a team. I think Auburn's up there at about number 4 or so in the RPI. And then 3 road games at A&M is a real RPI boost one way or the other and it kind of depends on what you do and how you play. In fact, State is sitting there at 9 in the RPI right now, tied in the SEC with Auburn, who's also 14-10. Auburn is number 4 in the RPI, so you get them in town for 3 games. A&M currently is at number 8 in the RPI. Texas, who you just played, is 3. Georgia's sitting at the top of the SEC in the record. They're actually 16th in the RPI. How about that? Alabama's 5 in the RPI. All right, a little bit of time left. When we come back in the Bureau, we'll wrap this Monday show up. Coming up, stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links, bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agents phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state.
105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. Will, it is, weird is not the thing. I don't know how to explain it. It's just not a baseball place. Will, you comment on YouTube and you say, it's funny to me that Alabama and Auburn are both having great baseball seasons and nobody here in Alabama is talking about them. They'll talk basketball and football, win or lose, though. And, there could be a couple different ways of looking at that. One is through the lens of that old axiom that says success follows passion. And you go, okay, well, look, the people in the state of Alabama, it goes way, way, way back. They're passionate, number one, about football. And they are year round. And so that's what drives the talk. And that's what drives and that passion drives the success. And basketball's number two and baseball's nowhere near for whatever reason. You can look at it that way. But, you could also look at it through another lens, Will, and go, that because of success, you know what I mean? Because of success in football, and a little bit in basketball at a couple different times, just that kind of success is what drove the interest in it, because then the media, you follow that because you think over the course of history, you just get trained as media in Alabama is there's no such thing as a slow day as long as I can throw a question out there on, it could be today, May the 4th be with you, and May the 4th, and I can go, hey, everybody here in the state of Alabama, here's a question for you. Who's the most overrated football coach in the SEC? We'll be back with your calls. You see what I'm saying? As long as you can do that, and because of past success, people are thinking about that on May the 4th, then more power to you, I guess. And it just wedges out any possibility that Alabama and Auburn baseball could have any popularity. But they are good. I mean, Auburn may win the whole thing this year. They're really good. They're as good as State. I mean, 14-10. State's 4 games better in the overall, but Auburn could win it all. You just don't know. Bama started out slow, but they're only a game back of State and Auburn, and they're higher in the RPI at number 5 than State is. They got a good team. Who knows? They can both make a run. But people in that state do not care about it. I've said this for the last, well, not quite, but approaching 20 years, Will, since I've been doing some form of sports talk radio, in Mississippi. And in that entire time, even going way back to 2008 when I started, I, friends that do radio in Alabama, some that are still doing it, some have transitioned off of traditional radio and they just do streaming stuff and podcast stuff, but a lot of really wonderful people. And we joke about it and say, even back then, look, I'm just telling you, it's different in Mississippi. I don't know. You can't understand it unless you come. In the same way that some people in other parts of the country just can't quite understand football in Alabama unless you go there and experience it. You can't really understand the baseball thing in Mississippi unless you go and experience it, go to games. Kept telling them that. And then some of them went to the games, to Duty Noble, and they were like, okay, I get it. I didn't quite understand it. Now I get it. And also would tell them for 20 years, you don't understand. You can cross the state line into Mississippi. Let's just say on Highway 82. Let's say you're in Birmingham, in the Birmingham market. You decide you're going to drive into Mississippi. You go through Tuscaloosa. You get on 82 and you come through Columbus. When you cross the state line into Mississippi, if you're in media, sports media, If you don't cover college baseball, you won't last. Because the people in Mississippi, it's like as soon as you cross the state line, the folks in Mississippi care about whether the baseball teams are winning. State, Ole Miss, go to Southern Miss. They had 8,000 every weekend, every game on the weekend. And if you inverse that by the same token, if we go east from here, Will, and I cross the state line into Alabama, I can just cross the state line at Columbus. And I go from, Columbus, Lowndes County, Mississippi, and a few miles east of there, now I'm in Reform, Alabama. If I go over there and I do cover college baseball in the state of Alabama, I will not last. If I go right now and host a show and get hired to do sports radio or something like that in, say, Birmingham in that market, and I do really do a lot of college baseball coverage, won't last. Won't last. You'll get run out of town by the people that would you had better cover spring football. I'm talking wall to wall. I'm talking about the Alabama spring football quarterback battle. You better cover it, because if you don't, if you take that out of segment number 1 and instead put Auburn baseball in there is number 4 in the entire country in RPI, guess what? They'll fire you. Fired. And they agree. Man, it's so much better over here. Let me just tell you something, folks. In Mississippi, don't ever, ever, ever let anybody wag their finger in your face and tell you you don't have it as good as they do. Simply because, you don't have that big golden calf idol sitting in one of your campus football stadiums. Don't ever let them wag their finger in your face and tell you you don't have it as good. Moose Dog, it's a really good point. You say they don't even know the baseball coaches' names. We can say, it's true. We can go right now. I can put it on Twitter right now. Hey, if you live in the state of Alabama, I want to know your opinion. Who are the most, underrated SEC football coaches? And I only want responses from people in Alabama. I didn't know them. You get a list of all 16 in order, their order of underrated. But if you say, hey, only people in Alabama, I only want, if you're an Alabama or Auburn fan, this is all, you're the only ones I need to respond to this, please. Who are the top 7 baseball coaches in the SEC? Rank them. They don't know them. Don't know the names. Might not even get to 5. They might not even know their own coach's name. Jason in Flagstaff says, I don't understand it out here either. Jason, you say both big schools are historical powerhouses, but mostly crickets from their media. Yeah, and I guess, again, I think that a lot of that is, media has changed too. Modern era, if we look at the last 2 decades, Jason, everywhere media has changed because of the internet. And so it's less about, it's a different mindset. The old media mindset, really everywhere, was more like this. And it's the same for print. Back then in newspaper, it was you take as much of the truthful quality information as you could get across the board, and you put it in there and cram it in there as much as you can. And you just let them decide what it is they're interested in. And now the last 20 years, it's really the inverse of that. It is this. Find out what you think they are the most interested in, or the most people are interested in, and just throw that at them constantly, because you must get a click. You see what I'm saying? Like the media thing is all click driven. It's like I'm chasing your attention, but I want your least common denominator attention. I don't want your attention for 5 minutes is like the major media approach now. It's, I've got to get you to click on this in the first 5 seconds. If I did it, win. And so now you see what we're talking about. All right. Interesting show. I had fun. Wrapped it up. Thanks for all the texts. Lots of them today. All your comments on the live stream. We'll cue it up, do it again tomorrow. For Beaver, I'm Matt. All of us here on the show in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. See y'all tomorrow, same time, same place. See you then. See ya.